Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we talk about all things reality TV or whatever. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Ah,
I am Pharaoh, your host, and I'm joined by our wonderful, wonderful co-host Lee. Lee, how you doing?
I'm doing really well today. Like this episode was really, really fun. We got what we
Mm-hmm.
wanted, a 444 merge.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
potentially, even though it's still the little dumb little merge twist. Hopefully it's not the hourglass, but
It's going to
Jeopardy
be the
loves temptation.
hourglass. So we are so excited for the Hourglass next episode. It's gonna be so great. But we are talking about this episode today or whatever. And you know what? I'm gonna just jump right into us because they jumped right in on the episode, to be honest. Child. So we start off the episode. We're at Ika tribe because Ika went to the last tribal council and they voted out Miss Swati. So we come back and they are coming back from the tribal and they are like a little rambunctious about what has just happened. And basically Romeo is like, Drea is my main apple scrapple. Drea
Mhm.
is my girl. You know, I'm finna take Drea to the end because I love Drea. Period. Um,
Love that.
Tori,
Love that.
you love that?
I love them together. Like I said, like I said from the beginning, like they remind me, it's giving me very much Shan and Ricard teas, but
Mhm.
very, it's like they aren't as like, hate to say it, toxic as Shan and Ricard. Like Shan and Ricard, like their downfall was that they really, really, really just did not trust each other at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Whereas I feel like Romeo and Drea, there is some trust there. And also like with the Shannon Ricard piece, it was like they were fighting for the leader of each other, whereas Drea and Romeo, I feel like they kind of coexist with each other very well.
Mhm. I think it's very important to note the people who are locked in solid because it's actually not that many people. Drea and Romeo are locked in, like they trust each other a lot, and so does I want to say Hi and Lydia. But other than that, on every other tribe, everybody else, there's no one else who's really like lock rock solid. I feel
Yeah.
because even on Taku, they don't feel like that. It's real. So Romeo and Drea being so locked, and Drea has all of these advantages. So first of all, Rocksroy is kind of feeling like, I didn't know about the vote. Clearly, I'm not the most social person, and my social awareness is clearly not it. And and Romeo was like, "No, I mean it's not that bad." And Tori was whispering to herself. She was like, "It is. Like it's bad, babe,"
Hmm.
because Rocksroy is off his rocker. Rock. It really goes together. Not
Honestly.
what and then Tori, she doing her own thing. But what Tori did say, she said, if we merge, who gonna stay with them? Not I. Child.
Honestly, like, and that, like, I don't know, like, I really don't understand the decision to leave Rockstar out of the vote. Anytime you blatantly leave an ally of some sort out of a vote or a conversation, I think it's dumb. Especially the fact that they're going into merge soon. Like, of course, they had no way of knowing it, but you kind of expect that it's coming soon, especially when it's down to 12 people. So I just think it didn't make any real sense. Like, now if they're gonna merge, Rockstar have every reason to flip on them. I don't think
Mhm,
he necessarily has the strategic forethought to do so, like a
mhm.
Tory, but it's still very possible. So I didn't understand the decision at all.
I agree. I don't think it was smart at all. Also, they don't have Tori locked in either. Tori don't
No,
feel like they like them because they don't do shit with Tori. They don't tell Tori nothing. So you didn't tell Rocksroy about the vote. You don't tell Tori shit until this last vote. So who gonna work with you? Romeo and Drea, like I like them, but who gonna work with them? So basically, what happens is Romeo and Dre they're talking. They're like, honestly, let's find this idol. Let's go look for the idol and find the idol because there's clearly an idol. So Romeo and Drea they go off and they look for the idol, and Drea finds the idol. So Drea has an extra vote, an amulet, and an idol. The amulet is not what's it called? Oh, the amulet is only a extra vote because all three people with amulets are still in the game. And she has an
mm-hmm.
idol, and the idol isn't activated just yet at this moment. So she doesn't have a vote right now. So they're kind of like, ooh, I don't have a vote, but Romeo, I can give you an extra vote. That's important because it shows that they really do trust each other. Because she was willing to
Exactly.
tell him about it and she was willing to give it to him just like that. Right when she found the idol, she said, I don't have a vote. Oh, I have my extra vote. I'm gonna give it to you. They are close. They are really close. I don't see them even turning on each other. I definitely don't see Romeo turning on Drea. And I don't think Drea will even turn. I don't think they'll turn on each other. That's pretty solid. I think that's even more solid than Hai and Lydia, honestly, because Hai was like, we can just jump to the next tribe. We actually
and
listened
Dre
to
even
Oh yes, go.
I was gonna say Dre even said like, she had a lot of currency in the game right now. The fact that she has 3 advantages in a new era of Survivor where advantages could help a lot. Like she has 3
Mhm.
going into merge. Potentially one of them could become into another idol. She already has an idol. Because they were able to, not they were able to win immunity. She's now going into merge with a vote, with an extra vote, with an idol, and it's a lot of things. Like she is stacked up
Mhm.
going into merge. And I do feel
Literally.
like her and Romeo are they're pretty, I feel like, active players. So I do think once merge hits, like I could definitely see them like taking it down like to the final 3.
Mhm. And it's important to note that Tori and Roxroy are not aware of the idol or anything about the idol because every single other person in the game is basically. So, first we go to Taku Tribe. And so at Taku's tribe, they are going through it, baby. Mary Ann and Lindsay are just talking, and um, Jonathan is like, "Ooh, they don't shut up. They don't
Mm-hmm.
be quiet. They don't ever stop talking. They just don't. They don't shut up." He is like absolutely done. He has to literally get up and walk away. And as he's finna walk away, he's looking for his canteen. He's like, "Y'all see my canteen? They over here being annoying. Ooh, you're hot. You're hot. You're hotter. You're
And at
warmer."
first, it's crazy because at first I was like, okay, Jonathan, are you overreacting a bit? And like he even mentioned, like, how is it gonna look? Like I can't snap at Marianne.
Mhm,
I'm a 6'2" big guy, and she's kind of like the smaller little girl. It just would look bad. And
mhm.
even me at first, I thought, is he overreacting? Like, calm down, because I'm sick of people speaking on my sister Marianne. But then when
Period.
he mentioned, I think was someone mentioned that, oh, it's 7 a.m. in the morning, and I was like,
Mary Ann said it. That's what's crazy.
because if I was waking up at 7 a.m., I'm hungry, I'm tired, I haven't showered, I stink, my teeth is plaqued up,
Mhm,
and the first thing I hear is these two girls talking about Mario Kart and being loud. It's a lot. It will be a lot for me
mhm,
as well.
mhm. It's a lot. Honestly, I really understand Jonathan. I'm glad he didn't, like, get snappy or all of that because, it is hard to hold your emotions when you're hungry, tired, dying, you've been carrying the tribe left and right and up and down, you've been
Literally
pissing through
carrying the
water.
tribe.
Like,
Literally.
it's a lot, so it's hard to also on top of that, keep your calm, so I give him kudos for that because honestly, I mean, hey, Marianne, that's my girl. That don't mean she's not annoying. You could be my girl and still be annoying, you know what I'm saying? She was given annoying, but just because, like, she's happy to be there, but she's the most excited person I've ever seen to be there. So for him to
And
be
I
on
feel
the
like it's
tribe with the most excited person, like,
mhm.
that is a lot.
It's giving very much. She's probably like a ball of energy all the time. Because like every time we see her on
Mhm.
screen, she's really, really happy and loud and just happy to be. So it's like to be that 24/7. I could definitely see how it could get annoying, especially with all the other outside forces being affecting them right now.
Yes, child. So, on this tribe, it's important to note Marianne has an idol, that is going to be activated later in the episode, and she has a motherfucking
Extra
extra vote.
vote.
Lindsay, real quiet, doesn't get a lot of anything, but she has an amulet, so that's interesting because
She doesn't get shit.
she's going into merge. Who is she? I don't know, but she has an amulet. So it's important to know Omar says he does say after they're having all this turmoil, one time Jonathan is hitting the wood and she's near Marianne. She's like, "Oh, you hit my foot." And he's like, "Girl, I did not hit your foot." And she was like, "Girl, you was real close to hit my foot though." And he was like, "Well, why was you here when you saw me hit the thing?" And Marianne was like, "Well, I mean, this is my workspace, so I don't know why you
She was like, "This is all my workspace."
Yes. So basically, after that, Omar did have a confessional. Omar was like, "I do not need them to be fighting. I don't need them to be arguing. We need to be sticking together because if we merge, we need to be together. Like we need to be good." He did not take any action. He just said it in the diary room.
Mhm.
But I think him saying that shows that maybe at merge he could easily be like, look, we need to stick together. It could be foreshadowing a little bit. Mm-hmm. So at the Vati tribe, girl, they are going through it because the last time they went to tribal, Daniel done threw everybody under the bus. He done flipped on everybody, and then he didn't flip, but he did, and then he didn't stay true to his vote, so they didn't go to Rocks, and then he threw Chanel under the bus. So basically, Hai is like, I don't trust none of these bitches. I really don't. Daniel can go and Chanel can go because both of them was lying to me, and I don't trust none of them, to be honest. So at this point, Hai is like, look, I want to vote Chanel because I feel like Chanel is just the more smarter one. Lee.
I just feel like it was so confusing. We're definitely going to dive more into it when we get to the ratings for Vati because they did lose. Spoiler alert. It just like it confuses me that Daniel and Chanel are seen on the same level. I can kind of see the reasoning because he mentioned it. Well, I just don't trust Chanel. I think Chanel is someone who you can't really see what she's doing. Daniel is transparent. Like you can see right through him. His move, like if he were to flip, he probably wouldn't be so successful. Whereas Chanel probably would. I just think that's something. I don't know. Personally, that's the thing. Hai could win, and it wouldn't really matter. Well, he made a decision that I think was smart anyway. But it's just that like I don't see how you trust Daniel at all after what he did that first tribal. Like that was just really confusing to me. How they were even on the same level of one needs to go or not. Like it's like no, there's a very clear target, and it should be Daniel.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Unless production was specifically asking him, well, what would be a good reason to vote out Chanel? I could see them asking that and him giving a response, but he was kind of saying I would prefer her over Daniel. So it's like, I can't blame the editing. I didn't know what he was thinking. I didn't agree. I feel like Daniel was really prone to flip. And at this point, we finna be at merge. Who's ever most prone to flip gotta go. I don't care who's the better, the more. It don't matter. If you're prone to flip, you gotta go.
Because the issue with merge is always who's going to flip. He just flipped on his number one ally in 2 seconds and keep trying to lie to himself and the tribe that it was her who flipped on him when she wasn't even speaking. But I digress.
So the last thing is Mike has the idol, and so basically he everybody in the tribe is talking about it, and basically he's discussing. He's like, I don't know if I want to activate it because he's like, if I don't activate it, then I can go to merge and no one will know that I have an idol. So this is a decision I'm going to have to make split right when we're at the actual comp. If the other two tribes say, I'm going to decide right then and there. So we get to the challenge. So at the challenge, well, I just thought about what Omar was doing during the challenge. So at the challenge,
oh my god.
So at the challenge, Taku has been beasting through these other challenges, mostly because Jonathan has been taking the lead. So we're at the challenge and they have to do like a physical part, and then it's like a slight key untanglement puzzle, you could kind of say. And then you shoot the balls. So what happened is, or you launch the balls. So what happened was it Ika? Yeah, Ika takes the lead. And so Ika's in the lead, and then Vati is in second place. So both of them get through their obstacle and their keys pretty fast. So everybody is trying to launch the balls except for Taku. So we pan to Taku, and as Taku, we see Omar on the key puzzle.
No,
let me show you.
It was like even if you don't know like the pattern you should take, he was going so slow, and you could tell like his tribe was getting so frustrated. Like Jonathan, after just being stressed out by Mary and Lindsay all morning, I'm sure my man is tired. And like, cause it's crazy. Like the first time they have a challenge where he kind of can't interfere and help, look how far behind they fell. Like they almost lost fucking around with Omar, because I guess Omar, it was given like he was throwing it. Like it was very much like, is he throwing this?
Why was he going so slow? And Lindsay was trying to be nice and calm. Lindsay was like, okay, this one next, that one next. And it's like, baby, move! Like,
he's like, sorry guys. Fucking sorry.
Like, girl, like, I'm gonna need you to
sorry. Be careful. And
he was going slow as hell. And that's the thing. I don't have a problem with you just didn't know what to do. You panicked. Why are you going so slow?
Yeah. They ain't going nobody. They lucky Jonathan man ass is on their team, because the way
otherwise they would have went to tribal. It would have been 3 of the moves. Ciao. So Ika wins, and then Vati is still trying to do the launch. Taku finally finishes. Lord, Vati done lunched 300 motherfucking things. Taku finally finishes. Jonathan get on the lunch thing. Bah, bah, it's over. Game over.
Here, just that quick.
Just that quick. We was waiting this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
and
Vati
that's why.
loses.
I just want to touch back on Taku for a minute before we finish out on Vati. Like, I think, like, that's why, like, earlier we were talking about, like, Omar was concerned about them sticking together when it came to merge. They really don't have a choice. They're at the point now where I'm pretty sure Jonathan Ass gets targeted at merge unless someone, maybe High or Drea / Romeo on the other two tribes, strategically want to use him for some sort. Other than that, I really think Taku is going to be at the bottom of that merge. I will honestly be shocked if it's anyone else.
So, also at this, what's this called? At the challenge, Marianne says her phrase, and Drea's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna say my phrase." And so Drea says her phrase, and Mike decides to say his phrase. So all three of the idols have been activated or whatever, and her. So Drea and Romeo know that Mike and Marianne have the idol. Everybody on Mike Tribe knows that Marianne and Drea have the idol, and everyone on Marianne's tribe knows that Drea and Mike have the idol. So the only people who don't necessarily, according to the information being told, know who has the idol is Tori and Rocksroy. They probably just figured it out because everybody else fucking knows.
They're gonna get to, and that's the thing. Tori kept talking about, early in the episode, like, we keep talking about Ike is strong, but I am so ready to flip. So I can definitely see when Tori gets that marriage and she figure out this bitch got an idol. It's probably she's done, and she already knows she has an extra vote.
She knows she has an extra vote.
So that's the thing. That's gonna be interesting. A lot of these tribal dynamics are gonna be interesting.
It is because it's Vati. Let's get to Vati, child. So first, real quick, there's another ambition. What's it called when you go on a trek?
Advantage Island.
Child, it's another thing. And who go? It don't even matter who go. Lydia
it's
and
Lydia.
Rocksroy and Lydia go. They don't get shit. Moving on. So, but while Lydia was at Advantage Island doing nothing on the Vati tribe, basically, I was like, I want Chanel to go. Mike had a conversation with Chanel. He was like, I want Daniel to go. So at that point, it seemed like Mike and Chanel was very much so ready to just vote Daniel, and Daniel and High was very much so ready to just vote Chanel. So that's what it was seeming like. It seemed like
Mike was also promising High and Lydia that he would vote with them.
Yes, that did happen. So Lydia comes back, and Lydia gets to talk with everybody basically, and she has a diary room. She's like, I mean, Daniel should go, in my opinion. Mind you, this whole time High has been saying Chanel. And so we finally get a Lydia DR, and Lydia's like, I'd rather Daniel. Daniel's the one who wrote my name down. Daniel's the one who seemed like he was throwing everybody in a mama under the bus. Daniel's the one who seemed like more shady to me, honestly. So we go into tribal. We don't really know. We never really know who's going home. We know it's probably either Daniel or Chanel. So we get to tribal. We get to the votes. It's 2 for Chanel, 2 for Daniel, 1 for Mike. I was confused.
As hell.
Not gonna lie, but now I know why that happened. Basically, High and Lydia, who are a locked duo, decided to both just vote out Daniel. Mike and Daniel decided to vote out Chanel. I don't know why Mike doesn't know to vote with High and Lydia. I don't know if they just didn't tell him.
And it's also interesting because the only info we got from him is that he wants Daniel out. It doesn't make any sense that he would change that, especially after what Daniel did to this man. It's like, y'all was really about to let this man get to merge on y'all? Like, really?
Right. And then Chanel voted for Mike, which we'll get into in like a few seconds. But it was interesting because after the vote, Mike looked to Chanel. He was like, I kept my word. So I was like,
which he did not. Well, maybe he kept his word to Daniel.
I don't know who he kept. Oh, maybe it was Daniel. It don't matter. I guess it was Daniel.
He said it to Chanel, but I guess he was talking about his word to Daniel. So I have no idea.
Anyways, so we find out post-season that the reason Chanel voted Mike is because if Daniel got the shot in the dark, she would have went home. So she was hoping as if I vote Mike and Daniel gets a shot in the dark, it'll tie, and maybe everybody will just vote out Mike and not me. So that was her hope.
Which is really smart thinking. I feel like a lot of players this season on Survivor are thinkers, as opposed to the last season 41. It felt like only a few. We talk about this a lot, but only a few people were like the really dynamic players in that season. You had like a bunch of people who were like, child, it's questionable what they were doing. But this season is like a lot of thought are going into the moves that are being made. I mean, even the fact that Mike was hesitant to say the phrase, whereas in last season they said it as soon as they got it. You know what I mean? It's like that extra thought that goes into it. It really, it's interesting to see the difference between two seasons who essentially have the same twist and how they're gaming them differently.
Yes, exactly. I agree. So, we went to tribal. Vati went to tribal. We're gonna go ahead and rate Vati. So let me pull up. Bloop. Last time is at the top. This time is gonna be at the bottom or whatever. So, first of all, Daniel went home. How would we feel about Daniel as a overall player?
I think Daniel overall is definitely a 1. I'm going to keep him at that 1. He's clearly very delusional. The fact that he keeps saying in the DRs, oh, well, Chanel turned her back on me. Baby,
When did
we
that
all
happen?
watched that, and he definitely experienced it. Where did Chanel turn her back on you? You immediately was like, well, Chanel doesn't have a vote, exposing that she doesn't have a vote. And she can tell me who to decide to vote, basically trying to push blame on her. You literally was stabbing her in the back and now acting as if she did it to you. It's like, there's clearly no, I don't know. The man is crazy. The man is literally, I don't know. It's like, that's terrifying. Like, and then it was a similar situation with the Mike situation. It's like, well, I didn't turn on you. No, you can still work with me. And it's like, do you not realize the type of shit you put your allies through, and you expecting them to just be all golly and happy? And the fact that it just shows that I don't think he would be able to do well in any other season of Survivor, for the simple fact that he clearly does not even know the path he should take. I mean, going after Chanel so hard after that situation, it just was not the right move. It was just like, that's the least of your concerns. You need to work on trying to get yourself in a better position, not throwing Chanel under the bus for something she literally did not do. It was just weird. Like, terrible player, honestly. I'm so happy he got out before the merge. I was gonna be back. I just knew Chanel was going home because Daniel was getting a lot of screen time. He got him a little, we was getting a lot. He was just talking a lot. He was talking way too much for me. Chanel, it just felt like, ooh, Chanel's gonna go. But my sister made it. She's emerged, and we moved.
I agree. I feel like Daniel was he was not giving. I didn't like his performance at the very first tribal council they went to. That was terrible performance in my opinion. I really didn't enjoy, like, I didn't feel like I feel like nothing was smart that he did. I feel like even the smart move this round could have been, you know what, Chanel? If they hate me and they hate you, I know I did what I did, but honestly, the only way we can both survive is if we vote together. He didn't even try that. He was dead set. Fuck that bitch Chanel. Chanel need to go. I'm for the vote Chanel. What? She even listened to you. Like, he was out there wild. I don't know. I got to see no good qualities. He sat out in every competition because his shoulder got dislocated, but they saw him swimming and they was like, why are you swimming? I don't know. Like, I don't want to give him the 1, but what I'm gonna give him.
And for the most part, it's just clear that his social awareness is just not there at all. Like, it's like the man is just in the clouds, clearly. Like, I can't report that.
It seemed like the first couple episodes he was in a good position, but I think he just got the luck of the draw. I really think like Chanel was just like, well, everybody else is paired up. I ain't got no other choice. And you know, everybody was like, oh, we could use Daniel. Like, it was kind of just like everybody using him. 1. I'm not even gonna get into it. So Chanel, okay. We are going into merge next round. I think that's better for Chanel because now Chanel has, you know, more options, a cleaner slate. But Hai doesn't really trust her, and I think Lydia's just not gonna trust her because Hai doesn't. I don't think that's necessarily justified. Like, I don't think Hai and Lydia should just be leaving Chanel high and dry. I think High and Lydia should definitely be like, us four can make it to the final four. And I think Chanel would be fine with that. I don't think Chanel has shown that she is going to flip. But if they leave her high and dry, she is going to flip. I can see this merge being very mixed around when it comes to the tribal lines. I can see a lot of people not just voting with their tribe and just voting with however they feel. So I think it's going to be more opportunities for Chanel because there's a lot of other people she can try to talk to and get friends with. And I think she is good socially. Like at the beginning of the game, they did all kind of like her. So that's good. And it's interesting because we're kind of rating her based off of a tribe she's not on because she's not even gonna be on this tribe no more. She's gonna be on a whole nother tribe. So, but based off her performance and what I've seen so far, I do see some smartness in her. But I don't know. I'm still scared. Like, if your own tribe probably not even gonna work with you, you really gotta find someone. Well, she could, but we don't know. We really don't know. So I'm gonna just give her a 4 right now and see where she goes.
Yeah. No, and I definitely see what you're coming from. And this rating is really interesting because we do kind of have to take into account they are going into a merge. And with the merge, she's on the bottom of this tribe, but now her entire game resets. But you do have to kind of assess the game we've seen so far. Some of the negative I feel like I've seen in her game is that clearly she does not possess the strategic mindset I think she wants to have in the game. I mentioned on the last time we rated her that she gives me Liana vibes, where it's like basically she wants to make those big moves. She wants to go down in history as this really big player, but she doesn't really put in much of the work to make it happen. If she goes into jury with that same mindset, she's definitely going to be out. Even if she does stick with Vati strong and they are able to kind of push through to the end, she is at the bottom. And I don't see High ever wanting to work with her as closely. I think Mike showed his vote that he does not want to work with her that closely either. So she really shouldn't go to the end with them either. The positive about Chanel is that I do think she is a very, very smart player. She's someone who is going to think of strategies and think of plans. I think going into merge, you have Tori on Ica who's ready to flip, Roxroy who is not in social conversations, Marianne who's at the bottom. So I do think Chanel could definitely make some moves. Maybe her and Tori link up, maybe her and Marianne link up. There are a lot of pieces that can be moved if people were to flip. I honestly think her best bet is to flip 100%, not gonna lie. And I want her to. And I think she is a player that if she is putting in that social work, then the strategies and the plans she's thinking of can work out, especially in the marriage situation. Tribe-wise, I want to say they could be a strong tribe if they were to stick together going into marriage, at least the first part, but you never really know. So I am going to settle at a 4.5 for Chanel because I do see promise. I really, really do. But we kind of just have to see when we get to the merge episodes, honestly.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one. We're really gonna have to see what happens at merge. That's gonna be a fun. That's gonna be fun. High. Like I said, I think it's very, very beneficial, especially going into the merge, to have somebody locked in. And there's not that doesn't exist other than High and Lydia and Omar and Drea. I mean Romeo and Drea. So I feel like High being locked in with Lydia is very, very good. I don't think Mike will stray from the tribal lines. So if Mike does stick with High and Lydia, that's good. Even though he didn't vote with them, it's still good. And I could see him wanting to stick with them. I could even see Chanel wanting to if they offer that to her. So it could be good for High. I think High has a very good strategic sense. He really knows when something is up. If they merge and somebody is getting the votes, I think High is smart enough to be like, Mike play idol, and Mike plays idol. I could literally see High giving a whole Natalie Anderson and play your idol, whatever. So I see High having potential. I do think he's one of the more strategic people that we've seen in this season in any tribe. So that's promising, but I just don't know yet who might link up with him or who might not. I will say High has an amulet, and so does Drea. Drea and Romeo are very good players. High is a very good player. I can see them I could see a collaboration. Now, if that does become a collaboration, that's gonna be strong. Hi, Lydia, Drea, and Romeo, that's gonna be really strong. And I could see an upside where that happens. So I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm gonna give him a going into the merge. I think I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give a 6.5 because it's the merge, and I don't know what the fuck gonna happen. I'm gonna give a 6.5.
I think I'm gonna keep at a 6 for high, and that's because honestly, I don't know. I don't know how to really perceive his edit from this episode. I feel like I definitely didn't see anything that brought his game higher for me. One of the big negatives that I kind of noticed was the fact that Mike didn't vote with him and Lydia. I don't know if that's something that they planned out, but if it's not, I think that's a really, really bad sign for High. Whoever has control of, I feel like, of their tribe going into merge is going to be the most successful. If Chanel is feeling at the bottom and ready to flip, which I do believe she probably will be going into merge, and if Mike can't even be reeled in to vote with you, he also has an idol that you really don't have control over because Mike clearly is not going to do everything you want. It's like I don't know. I don't know if High will be able to take control on a full scale, as I feel like maybe a Romeo or a Drea can. It's going to be really interesting seeing him interact with the other strategists on the show, on the season as well. Romeo and Omar, you know what I mean? It's like he has a lot of outs because, like Pharaoh mentioned, he has the amulet. I can see maybe, you know, him and Drea, like you mentioned, or even him and Lindsay. Maybe he doesn't want to go with Ika. Maybe he wants to go with Lindsay and Jonathan and Omar. It's very possible that he could go either way. It just depends. Like, I'm really not too sure. I do think he is one of the best set up people going into the merge, and is probably going to make a really, really deep run. But I do want to keep it at a 6 for now.
How do you feel about Lydia?
I love Lydia. I'm gonna say it every time I speak about her. Like, she is just, I love her. But I'm really, really happy this episode that we got like more strategy from her, because my biggest critique with her in the previous episodes was like, okay, like she's in this good position, but she's mainly there because of High, and she seemed to just go whatever the fuck was going on. Now that I've seen this episode, I do come a little bit away from that original thought about her. It was probably just the edit, and she was probably just stressed out because, of course, her name is being said. This episode, I mean, I noticed something, because in the edit we have High, who is consistently mentioning he wants Chanel to go home, and the only other time we mention something different is when Lydia comes back from Advantage Island, and she says, like Pharaoh mentioned, like, oh well, Daniel wrote my name down, and Daniel is also proven to be unloyal and a liability. And interesting enough, Daniel's the one who went home. So I just think that was really interesting. Like, I want to know, I wonder if Lydia had more influence in this vote or not. I think it's very obvious that one of the reasons why he went home is because what he did to Lydia in that vote. So I'm just happy to see that she does have some type of strategic mind, and that, you know, going into the merge, being linked with such a player like High, having a strategic mindset is going to be really, really good, because if they're able to make a deep run together, if he does get cut, I mean, she could essentially like pick up the reins and make something shake. You never know. Like, I feel like an archetype like Lydia, we have never really seen in Survivor, so I have no idea how far she can really go. So I am gonna give her the 5 again, just because I need to see a little bit more to get her higher up. Like, I want to see her dictating moves. I want to see her specifically sending a person home. I feel like she had a big hand in Daniel, but it wasn't like her doing. I want to see like her step up to the plate as the main strategist of the duo, or to show any strategy, because the difference between her duo and I feel like Romeo and Drea is that they bounce off of each other. With High and Lydia, at least from the edit standpoint, it's like High is the main strategist and Lydia is just kind of his friend. So I just hope that, you know, her strategic path in the game grows once merge hits.
Yeah. I feel like with Lydia, I'm gonna give Lydia a 5 also, because I feel like that's just fair. I feel like she's done, you know, decently. when it comes to positioning. You know, she is with High, and that is still a strong duo. Going into the merge, they're gonna do things together. So if somebody wants to link up with them, that's two numbers, and she's gonna be a part of that. If someone wants to take a shot at High and Lydia, it's probably gonna be at High. You know,
Mhm.
so if High goes and Lydia's still there, that's really really good for her because he is the more front runner of the duo. I think Lydia can have some promise. It seems like she does have like a strategic sense to her a little bit. It just doesn't seem so strong, which is why I wouldn't go any higher on her. And like you said, there's other duos out there that are, I feel, a little bit more, you know, they can go back and forth. I kind of also feel like even like people from the Taku tribe just have a little bit more game sense that we've
Mhm.
seen, that we've seen. So I just have to see it for Lydia, which is why I'm just gonna give her a 5 because I haven't seen it yet. I do have hope that in the merge, Lydia could do some stuff, shake some stuff up, or even thrive, or even when High goes, Lydia can come to fruition. So I have hope. Her and High do have High has the amulet and Lydia is connected to High, so that's good. And maybe they can still link with Mike, but we don't really know. So I'm just gonna keep it at a 5.
Mhm.
Um, Mike. Mike is the last one. Mike is, I don't know. Mike is weird because with Mike, I feel like I think he will stick to the tribe. But he doesn't have to. Like, especially if they didn't tell him about the vote. Like, I don't know. He doesn't have to, and he wasn't working from them with them anyways. He was working with Jenny, and they voted out Jenny. Like, I don't know. Like, Mike really has zero incentive to stick with them at all. So I don't think he'll stray from it, but he really doesn't have to stick with it. So I think he has options going into the merge. He also has an idol, but everyone knows he has an idol. So let's say Taku and Ika link up and they're like, oh, well, Vati's on the bottom. They might be like, well, Mike has the idol. If we just pretend that he doesn't, we vote him out, that could be sticky for him because he does have an idol and everybody knows. Also, he can use the idol to his benefit and try to like, oh, I have the idol, I have the idol, let's link up. He knows Marianne has the idol and he knows Drea has it. Maybe he could try to do something with that if he does want to jump ship. So he has options, but I'm not sold on his game sense in the game.
Mhm.
He's never done anything that makes me feel like he is strategic or smart. I think he will just settle with, well, I'm just going to stick with my tribe and I'm going to go along with it. Or if he does try to flip, I don't think it will be successful and I don't think he'll like win after that. I can see him flipping and then the people he flipped with after they get the numbers being like, well, he can go now. I mean, he flipped with us and now we have the numbers and we just voted out two of the people. He can go next. I don't see a lot of hope for him. Uh Maybe he can win some challenges and that'll help him. There are people who've went on challenge runs in Survivor, but it's not like he's shown great things in the challenge either. So it's giving. I mean, if I'm gonna give Chanel a 4.
Mhm.
I feel like 4 is high, but he do got an idol.
Now, Mike's game, I feel like is really, really interesting. I'm honestly shocked he's still here. I'm not gonna lie, I written Mike off on the first episode just because I thought he was one of those players that's gonna come on the tribe, try to run everything, be the big boss man, and get his ass sent home. We see it every season. Interestingly enough, both those archetypes this season are both here, Roxroy and him, which is kind of
Mhm.
interesting. So that's interesting because they usually do not make it to merge. So,
Yeah.
Mike, he's really interesting. Like you said, I'm not sure that he has the actual strategic mindset. He does seem like he's playing Survivor like 2006 edition, where it's like,
Mhm.
you know, I'm loyal to somebody, I'm gonna stick with them, and if they screw me, then we're done. But it's like, I mean, Daniel screwed him, and he still even vote Daniel out. So I do think he's gonna be really loyal to Vati when it comes to marriage. I don't really see him being able to get other options. He hasn't proven to necessarily be a social threat at all. However, it was a very, very small tribe. I mean, he could go to merge and become everybody's bestie. I do think his biggest attribute is that I think going into merge, him, High, and Lydia will likely be a trio.
Mhm.
Honestly, I do think Mike is going to stay really, really closely to High for the simple fact that, you know, they're on the same tribe, and High definitely has a more focused sense, you know, for the game. So I do think it's in Mike's best interest to stick with them. And I think another upside is that he does have the idol as well. Um, And people do know he has the idol, but I feel like unless Vati somehow becomes a minority tribe, I feel like no one's going to be
Mhm.
wanting to get him out because he has one. I
Mhm.
do feel like if they're able to maneuver themselves as a tribe into a good position, Mike honestly could be in for the long haul. So you never really know. I'm going to give him a
Mhm.
5.
All righty. Doing a little bit much, but all right. No.
Mm.
So this is how the tribe is looking. I'm not even going to put them in order. Highs at the top, Lydia, then Mike, and Chanel. But we're going into merge, so it doesn't even matter. Let's talk a little bit more about the overall merge as it is. I hope this is the right freaking pictures. Is this the right pictures? It is. Great. So, first of all, our drafts. These are our drafts. I am going to lose. No, I actually still think I'm going to win. I still think
Have a good chance.
I still think I have some good players. I can see Drea going before Romeo. That's good for me because Romeo could then win. I can see High just powering through and winning. I can see Chanel sneaking her. They called her sneaky, and I didn't see. I can see it. I can't see it, and then I can see it. I don't see it as a reason that I voted her out, but I can see her sneaking her way. I can see Omar sneaking his way. I can even see Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
High
No,
will know.
definitely for me, I feel like potential winners. I think Omar, High, Romeo, Jonathan at this point. One of
Mm-hmm.
those four, I think, could easily get it. I do feel like it also depends on how this season goes. There's a lot of dynamic and chaotic players going into
Yes.
marriage. I feel like Tori,
Yes.
possibly Chanel, maybe Marianne, to name a few, Drea for sure. This could be a very, very, very chaotic jury. If that's the case, any of these
Mm-hmm.
people could win. Any
Yes.
of these people could win because if tribal lines don't matter, which
Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't, I would love to see it, especially if Tori's ready to flip like she is. If
Mm-hmm.
tribal lines do not matter, like I think the rest of the season could really, really be interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. If Tori ready to flip and Chanel ready to flip, who's to say they don't just both flip to Taku and then Taku plus Tori
Ooh!
and Chanel are, at the top. Anything can really happen at this merge, which is crazy because it's
Mm-hmm.
4 from each tribe. It's half men, half women.
Yep.
It's
They're even in
diverse.
so many ways. The only
It
thing
can
that's
go
gonna
so many ways.
ruin this marriage is because, as we can see in the next episode, there's a little teaser for a possible,
Yes.
what is it, hourglass advantage.
Yes.
The advantage that Erica, the winner of Survivor 41, got, which, basically she smashed an hourglass, and anyone who was immune basically was up for elimination and
Mm-hmm.
would be sent home. Now, if that is happening for the merge, it is supposed to be a 2-hour episode next week, then I'm going to be pretty pissed because I think that advantage is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
In no way is it ever smart or even a good idea. Like if they won a competition, they won a competition. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping because Danny chewed Jeff ass up last season that they didn't do it this season.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a really, really dumbass twist. But like I said in the preview, Jeff already saying this isn't like a normal merge, so we're probably gonna
Mm-hmm.
get you're not on tribes, but you're competing in teams for immunity, and
I
I just
will
hope it's not an
say
hourglass situation. Please,
I
God.
will say, now that I'm thinking about it, I can see how the hourglass could be actually less, more interesting than it was last time because you have to remember it just so happened those teams ended up that basically, everybody who wasn't cool with what's her name? Her was on the team that didn't choose her. What if the team ends up being freaking high,
Mhm.
High, and a bunch of other people, and then Lydia gets the hourglass.
No,
Is Lydia
but
gonna
that's
be
the thing.
like, is Lydia
But
gonna be like, well, High's not gonna be safe because he didn't? No, Lydia might be like, you know what? I think I can stay if I don't smash the hourglass. I
mhm.
want High to be safe. It could be interesting. Or if Drea is the hourglass person and Romeo, goddamn, is on the right team, on the winning team, Drea can be like, Romeo could be safe and I have my idol, so we could. It could end up a little bit more interesting
And no,
depending on it.
I definitely understand what you're saying. I just think no matter how it ends up, I'm not gonna like it regardless.
Yeah, I
For
don't
the
like it
simple fact
either. I'm
that,
just
like,
saying,
I mean,
like,
it could be the
there's an
person
option.
I hate, the person I hate the most, who goes home because of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Like for example, last season, all my fans were safe because of it. I was rooting for Shan. I was rooting for
Liana was on
a
that
lot
side.
of people
All my faves were on the one who got saved, but I don't like the twist either. I think
it's stupid. It's stupid.
unfair, is what it is.
Safety and immunity, you deserve to have safety and immunity. Like it's just like and it also too is annoying because you're giving someone the advantage to shake up the entire game. You don't really earn the advantage. You know what I mean? Like.
I think, and it's if anything, it's the opposite. It's the fact that you didn't earn it because the winning team didn't pick you. They were like, "Oh, well, we don't want them. I don't want them to get safety."
The whole twist is just stupid.
I think it's a very, very dumb twist. I'm just hoping it doesn't be used, and I feel like in certain scenarios it might not be used.
But you have to be realistic. When does that advantage really, really just not get used? You telling me? No, but that's the thing. You telling someone who just didn't get picked to be on any team, so they know essentially nobody likes your bitch ass. That's one. That's one. And two, they were up for elimination. But if all you have to do is smash this glass, and you are now safe. I just think you're a dumbass if you don't take it. You're done. I mean, that's the thing.
Somebody could be dumb, right?
Literally won. If she didn't smash it, she lost. She probably goes home that episode. Yeah. So it's like.
But Erica had zero social capital from what we saw. You know, she was at the booty hole bottom. If someone who's not at the booty hole bottom gets it, it could be different. But you're right. I'm not even.
I feel like I don't care. I'm playing with relatives, and everyone who's safe is my mama, auntie, uncle, cousin, and sister. If they telling me I'm gonna be safe, I'm taking safety. Immunity is everything. You have an immunity idol, immunity necklace. Like, no, bitch, give me immunity.
Yeah. I agree. What if it's like Jonathan and everybody on his tribe was on the winning team?
Well, that's the thing. But that's the thing. The whole twist is stupid because the negative side is that you do have people pissed off you for no reason. They could have easily held that against Erica, and Erica could have easily went home.
Which is why maybe someone don't.
In total, it's just stupid. But like I said, I feel like the smart move is always take the immunity. I don't give a damn if my whole tribe is people voting. If it's my safety, I'm taking my safety. The thing is, like, I will say I'm shocked they weren't mad at Erica, but you honestly can't be mad at Erica or the person who gets it because why the hell would I give up my? I mean, that's the thing. It's not my fault. Blame production. It is not my fault. I didn't search and find the hourglass. They gave it to me, and I didn't smash it. So.
And Erica's thing was they didn't save her. Like they had the option to save Erica or to save I forgot man's name, and they saved the other man.
But that's literally like as you keep talking about it pisses me off more because all of it is a setup. Like of course they give the person who was purposely shut out of either team this decision. If you're shut out of being chosen, who wouldn't say yes? The whole thing is set up for the person to say yes in the thing. They want it to happen. So it's basically like it's not even a twist. It's just straight up riggery.
So going into the next episode, whoever loses the challenge should be immune because they will most likely get hourglass into immunity along with the hourglass person.
But it's not 100%. Like maybe it's like not. What's new this season is that there is no Liana advantage. That's what I'm calling it because I don't remember. So there is no Liana advantage. Like there is no can I have your idol? And we have the addition of the ambulance. So maybe that's something that's changed. Maybe it was like I said, you know, what's his name? Denny did cuss Jeff the fuck out about that twist last season. So hopefully when he was doing this season, he was like, let's not do that this time.
Or it even could be set up differently. It could be like, oh, the winning tribe, choose someone from the winners. Y'all are all safe. But choose someone, and then they can do something.
I like that better. The winning tribe should get the legacy. I think that would be cute. But it's it's not legacy advantage. The winning tribe should get the advantage. But I feel like at the same time, it literally couldn't even be the switch anymore. Because it's like it would have to be something different.
Maybe they could switch it up. So hopefully they do because baby, that wasn't it. I don't know who be giving Jeff these ideas. I know he'd be talking to Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry needs to give him some more ideas. Like some better idea. Like I don't know what that was.
You can call me because Jeff, we got ideas. What's your email? What's your email for real? But my thing is too though, like I feel like it's just a dumb twist. It's a dumb twist.
Yes. So going into merge, despite the hourglass twist, past that twist, we know that Drea and Lindsay have amulets, so that might be a connection. Everybody basically knows that Mary Ann, Mike, and Drea. Come on, Drea. What? Has an idol. My thing is now knows Drea has an idol, and High knows Drea has an amulet. High knows like some good information. Like,
Oh, I didn't even
I
think
really think
that.
they're going to link up. They kind of have to link up. Like, or I think High is smart enough to be like, I need to link up with Drea, and I think High like would gravitate towards someone like a woman, a
Yeah.
strong woman, like.
Especially if he can, I feel like him and Romeo probably can relate on a lot of things. Like,
Mhm.
I could definitely see Avati and Ika link up, but
Good. And I
High,
saw that
I feel like
already.
I can see High being like she's a bit too dangerous. I mean, the fact that she,
Mm.
like you said, she has two advantages that he knows of.
Mhm.
But that's also something I would like to make very, very clear. Like, put some respect on Marianne and Drea's team. I mean,
Period.
names.
Mhm.
Two black women, Marianne and Drea, have found the idols in the game. Drea has 3 advantages. Marianne
Mhm.
has 2 going into the merge. They are literally the most valuable players for
Mhm.
their tribe mates going into merge. So
Mhm.
I expect my sisters to make a very, very deep run. I expect them to
Period.
be sitting in final 3, very,
Period.
very, very, very cute.
Period.
As they should. I would love if Drea wins this game. Drea or Marianne. That would be
Me too.
iconic. I don't see it for my sister Marianne, but I do kind of do see it for Drea just a tinch. Like, I think Drea could really, really get there, but it's gonna be a hard battle because I think my sister, she definitely gonna make this
Wow.
merge fun. She's definitely gonna make this merge
She
fun.
gonna make it too fun. You need to calm down. The only other thing I can think about the merge is that a lot of people did say Jonathan might have to go on Ika and Bati. I always thought of the merge as Ika and Bati might link up, and then Taku might be on the bottom, and they might be like, Jonathan gotta go. So that's kind of where I'm seeing it, especially because High has this information on Drea. Drea and High probably are gonna get along. I can see really a Ika and Bati versus Taku, but if Tori want to flip and Chanel want to flip, and they be like, you know what, let's vote with Taku. That might be a whole split. And then Marianne got idols. She got extra. Marianne, the only person of all those people we named, Taku and Tori and Chanel. Marianne, the only one with anything. They lost. Ciao. Anyways, we'll see. But hey, that's it for today. Sure. It was a wonderful time talking about
Wonderful, wonderful.
Survivor. Make sure y'all check us out. Check out our Big Brother videos. Check out our X on the Beach videos. And if you want to see more Survivor, next week we will be covering the next episode, which is the merge episode. So it's
2-hour episode.
fun. Period. It's gonna be a fun podcast or whatever to keep up with all of our details and vibes and things. Follow us on our social media at T Reality Kingdom. That is at T Reality Kingdom on Twitter and on Instagram. Period. And we out.